Have you ever thought about how the evolution of technology has shaped the battlefield of the 21st century? The dawn of cyber warfare traces back to the late 20th century, an era marked by significant technological advancements. It was during the 1980s and 1990s that we first saw the emergence of meaningful cyber threats. Initially, these cyber attacks were relatively minor, often the work of curious hackers testing the limits of this new digital frontier. However, as technology evolved, so too did the sophistication of these attacks. The digital realm swiftly became a new battleground, a shift that fundamentally altered the way conflicts were carried out. The transition from the physical to the digital battlefield wasn't abrupt. It was an era of transformation, where conventional weapons gradually gave way to lines of code capable of causing significant damage. It was a shift that saw the birth of a new kind of warfare, one that transcended borders and defied traditional defenses. As we moved into the late 90s, the role of state-sponsored attacks began to take center stage. Nations recognized the potential of cyber warfare as a means to disrupt their adversaries without launching a traditional physical attack. It was a paradigm shift in the way nations approached warfare, and it set the stage for an era of cyber conflicts. Meanwhile, non-state actors also began to recognize the potential of cyber warfare. Cyber criminals, hacktivist groups, and even independent hackers started exploiting the digital landscape, launching attacks for a variety of reasons, from political motivations to financial gain. The evolution of cyber warfare in its early days was a complex interplay of technology, politics, and individual actors, each contributing to the shape of the digital battlefield. It was a time of rapid change, of new threats, and of a world waking up to the reality of warfare in the digital age. As we moved into the new millennium, the face of warfare was changing rapidly. But this was just the beginning, the dawn of a new era of conflict, an era we now know as the age of cyber warfare. With the turn of the century, a new era of cyber threats emerged. As we waved goodbye to the 90s, we unknowingly welcomed a new breed of danger that would change the world as we knew it. The 2000s marked the beginning of a new era, one tainted by significant cyber threats that would challenge our understanding of security. One of the first major cyber threats to shake the world was the I Love You virus. Originating from the Philippines in the year 2000, this seemingly innocent email worm wreaked havoc on a global scale. It exploited our basic human need for connection, disguising itself as a love letter. Once opened, the virus would replicate itself and spread to every contact in the user's address book. It resulted in billions of dollars in damages and is still considered one of the most destructive viruses of all time. But the I Love You virus was just the beginning. The 2010s introduced us to a new level of sophistication with Stuxnet, a malicious computer worm that targeted Iran's nuclear program. Unlike its predecessors, Stuxnet wasn't just about causing chaos or financial harm. It was about sabotage and espionage. It was about cyber warfare. The scale and sophistication of these attacks served as a wake-up call for the world. Critical infrastructure, once considered safe from the realm of cyber threats, was suddenly exposed. Power grids, water supplies, and nuclear facilities were all potential targets. The impact was no longer confined to the digital world. It had very real and potentially catastrophic consequences in the physical world. And so as we moved deeper into the 21st century, we found ourselves in a constant game of cat and mouse. Cyber threats evolved, becoming more sophisticated and more destructive. They targeted not just individuals, but entire nations. They disrupted economies, influenced politics, and threatened national security. But it wasn't all doom and gloom. These threats sparked a revolution in cyber defense, driving innovation and collaboration on an unprecedented scale. As threats evolved, so did the measures to counter them. The rise of cyber threats marked the dawn of a new era, but it also paved the way for the evolution of cyber warfare. But how has the evolution of technology itself influenced cyber warfare? As we continue to embrace the digital age, emerging technologies like artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things are making their mark on the battlefield of cyber warfare. This is a realm where ones and zeros can be just as potent as conventional weaponry, and where these technological advancements play a role of a double-edged sword. Take artificial intelligence, for example. On one hand, AI has the potential to revolutionize cyber defense. It can learn patterns, analyze vast amounts of data in seconds, and predict future attacks. It can fortify our digital defenses, making them smarter, faster, and more resilient than ever before. But on the other hand, the same AI systems can be weaponized by cybercriminals. They can leverage AI to find vulnerabilities, automate attacks, and even create deepfakes, a form of synthetic media where a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's likeness. This paints a picture of a future where distinguishing truth from deception becomes increasingly difficult. Then there's the Internet of Things, or IoT. As more and more devices become interconnected, from our smartphones to our refrigerators, the potential points of attack for cybercriminals multiply exponentially. This presents a host of new challenges for cybersecurity. Yet, IoT also opens up innovative defense strategies. It allows for the development of decentralized security systems, where each device acts as a checkpoint, reinforcing the overall network. It provides an opportunity to leverage machine-to-machine communication for proactive threat detection and response. In the end, it's a digital arms race. The same technologies that create new vulnerabilities are also the ones that provide innovative solutions to defend against them. The landscape of cyber warfare is constantly changing, and it's shaped in large part by the evolution of technology itself. In this digital arms race, staying ahead is crucial. So, how do we defend ourselves in this rapidly changing digital battlefield? Well, it's all about evolution. Just as our adversaries have adapted and grown, so too must our defense strategies. In the early days of the digital age, simple firewalls and antivirus software were the go-to defense mechanisms. These worked by recognizing known threats and blocking them out. But as cyber threats became more sophisticated, these basic defenses started to fall short. Enter the world of artificial intelligence and machine learning. These technologies have revolutionized the way we approach cybersecurity. Instead of just recognizing known threats, AI-driven systems can identify patterns, predict potential attacks, and respond in real time. But technology is just one piece of the puzzle. Equally crucial is the human element. Cybersecurity professionals are at the forefront of this battle, constantly learning and adapting to outsmart cybercriminals. Their skills and expertise are invaluable in this rapidly changing landscape. Furthermore, the fight against cyber threats is not one that any organization or even any country can win alone. It's a global problem that requires a global solution. This is where international cooperation comes into play. Organizations like NATO and the United Nations play a key role in fostering this cooperation. They provide a platform for sharing information, coordinating responses, and setting global standards for cybersecurity. However, international cooperation isn't just about responding to threats. It's also about proactively working together to build more resilient systems. This involves not only strengthening our defenses, but also designing our digital infrastructure in a way that minimizes vulnerabilities. It's about thinking ahead, anticipating potential threats, and being prepared to respond swiftly and effectively when an attack does happen. In the end, it's not about building impenetrable walls. It's about building resilient systems that can withstand an attack, recover quickly, and come back stronger. And it's about fostering international cooperation, because in this digital age, no one is an island. In the end, it's about building resilient systems and fostering international cooperation. As we've seen, the evolution of cyber warfare is a complex and ongoing process. It's a constantly changing battlefield, where new threats emerge, and innovative technologies and defense strategies are developed to counteract them. Let's take a quick step back to reflect on what we've covered. We began our journey at the dawn of cyber warfare, where we saw the first inklings of the vast and intricate digital battles that would come to shape our present day. We then delved into the rise of cyber threats, exploring how they've grown in sophistication and impact over the years. It's a chilling reminder that the digital world, much like the physical one, isn't immune to conflict and danger. Next, we ventured into the realm of emerging technologies. We discovered how these cutting-edge tools and systems are not only influencing the way we live, but also how they are shaping the battlefield of cyber warfare. From artificial intelligence to quantum computing, these technologies are both a boon and a challenge, serving as weapons for both defenders and attackers. We then discuss defense strategies in the digital age, acknowledging that this is a war that cannot be won through brute force alone. Instead, it requires a deep understanding of the digital landscape, smart strategies, and constant vigilance. It's crucial to remember that this is a field that never stands still. New threats and technologies are always on the horizon, and our defense strategies must evolve to keep up. Staying informed about these developments isn't just beneficial, it's vital. It's a collective responsibility that we all share, whether we're tech enthusiasts, cybersecurity professionals, or everyday internet users. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and remember, knowledge is our best defense. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of cyber warfare, make sure to subscribe to Tech Talk Central for more insightful content.